with the Clement James Centre, and I know a number of people here will be very familiar with the Clement James Centre, which is our sister community organisation, and also another organisation into university which is on site. So a very warm welcome to St Clement's Church. What I'm going to suggest we do is we begin with a moment of silence, and then I'll say a short prayer, and then I'll hand over. So let's just begin by having a pause, having a moment of reflection, where together we think, what is it we would like from this meeting? A moment of reflection to think, what are our hopes from this meeting? Let us pray that God will assist us in our speaking, in our listening, in the way we work together, so that this meeting will be useful and productive and achieve some of the things which we want it to achieve. We ask this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. I now hand over to Chief Superintendent Robin Williams, who is chairing this meeting.
Good evening, everybody. Can you all hear me? Okay, good. I have a mic on. First of all, we would like to thank the Vicar for allowing us to use St Clement's Church. This evening, this is the second of our public meetings. And for those of you who were with us last week, we were at the Almanar Mosque. And we heard testimony from many of you about what you felt had occurred in recent weeks following the events of the fire. It is really important that when you speak, you are heard and we listen. And I hope that this evening we will be able to illustrate how the London Resilience Group and the recovery arrangements are being managed, and for you to have a full update of what is occurring. I cannot imagine that we will be able to answer all of your questions. We know there are many, but we have convened a panel this evening which we hope will be able to give you some answers to the many questions that you actually have. The meeting is scheduled to run to about 7:30 p.m. Many of you will be aware that at 8 o'clock there is a visual, because today marks the month anniversary since the tragedy of the fire. And so there will be a vigil on the memorial walk on Bramble Road. So we would hope to finish on time and in time for those of you who would like to show your respects and participate in that visual to join us. So that's the time that we are looking to head for. At the back of the room, as last week, you can see that we have the media assembled and press. And my question to you, as always, is, do you want the media to record this meeting?
Yes, of course.
Yes? Yes? People are happy for the media. And you know that is important to hear your voice in that. I've said we've brought together a panel, and the panel is quite, I was going to say it's an expert panel. We have people from health, we have So we have Deborah, Dr. Deborah Turbitt from Public Health England. We have Barry Quirk, the interim chief executive. We have Dr. Rachel Wright Turner. No doctor, sorry. And how can I forget, far right, is Councillor Elizabeth Campbell, who has recently taken up as head of RBKC. That is the panel for this evening. What we are going to start with, and again, this is substantially about listening to you. However, the panel will introduce themselves shortly. But before we go to the moment where we can hear your voice, we would like to, so Hilary Patel, who you all know, is an extraordinary woman that's been working in this space, is going to feed back what we believe we heard you say at the last meeting. So we had a whole team of people. We said we were listening, we were recording, we were noting what you said at that last meeting. And a number of themes have arrived. So Hilary, could you please give us a feedback of what the last session was about?
Hello again to people who remember me from last time slightly. My name is Hilary Patel. I'm just assisting with community engagement with the central response. Last week we had a lot of questions. A lot of them were around the building and around the safety of the building. We don't have someone here today. We will have someone here next week about that. And we've answered some of your questions through the bulletin and the newsletter. You should have copies, but if not, please let us know. There is all of it is available online. In terms of the building, it's just important to remind ourselves that the building was never and has never been at risk of falling down. And it's important that I know it's hard to believe that, but that is the honest truth. And we have done extra work in putting in structural support inside the building to strengthen the core of the building, so that the building, if anyone who has seen buildings collapse in demolitions, etc., buildings tend to collapse down on themselves. And what we have done, just to make sure that we have extra support, because some of the floors have suffered in that because of the heat of the fire. So what we have done is we have put extra metal supports into the building just to make sure that there's extra, to make it extra strong. But we are monitoring that every day. There are workers in that building every day making sure that that is safe and that there is nothing that is going to be structurally unsound with it. Now that does mean that because we're monitoring it, it does mean that we're monitoring it very closely. So if the building moves up to 5 millimeters, that is something that's our threshold, and that is when we will look, and that's why sometimes the building gets evacuated, and then there's a waiting period, and again to check that. And there are continual monitoring and continual checks to make sure that that building remains as stable as it is now, and as I said, we've made it more stable. And so that is where we are. Promise you, should anything change, we will make that update to you, but that is where we are now with that building, and it is sound. Going forward, we also talked about public health and air quality, and I won't talk about that more because we actually have somebody on the panel who will tell you exactly what we're doing, where the monitors are, where the sensors are, and how you can get more involved in that process and in monitoring that. We had a lot of questions around the fire and everything, and you will appreciate that it's really important to all of us and all of us here that the public investigation and the public inquiry, that nothing happens to hamper that investigation. And as frustrating as that is, what that means is sometimes there's questions we can't answer right now. And that's not because we don't want to answer them, but it's because there's things that we can't risk being taken out of context and being used to hamper the investigation. So we don't have someone here from the fire brigade today. We're working to get them to come back to you, but for right now, we have to let the investigation sort of continue on its path. Which brings me to the next point, which is around covering the building. And many of you asked about why it will take so long to protect that building and to cover it. And there's a couple of just things we have to talk about. And one is, if we put a shield of any kind that covers the windows of the building, that damages the inside conditions of the building. So what that means is the building changes its humidity, and it changes how inside is shaped. And why that's important is because we have to remember that whilst the visible remains of people have been taken out of that building. Because of the heat of the fire, there's lots of things in the building that still relate to people. And we need to remember that it's absolutely imperative. This is very delicate. And we need to remember that everything we do, the most important thing we do right now, is that we make sure that people get their loved ones back. And that takes time because of the heat of the fire and the energy the fire created. And so there are things that we cannot do right now. But we are mindful that that doesn't help people who have to look at that building every day, at the building. And so we are looking at other ways that we can protect it. We can't put up scaffolding right now, because scaffolding, although it stands on its own, it has to be bolted to something, especially when it's that high, because the wind and everything else will make that. We do not want scaffolding to fall down and fall on people, or to fall on the building and make the building have more issues. So the only way that we think right now that we can get the scaffolding to stay up is to bolt it into the center of the building. And as soon as we do that, it means that we cannot test the building for how it is structurally sound. The criminal investigation, how that works, is we have to test the building as a building. And so as soon as the criminal investigation is able to get into those rooms that have been cleared, they will test the fire doors, they will test the building as a building. And that, again, sadly, takes time, but it also means that we do not want to change how the building responds, because if we change that, we hamper the investigation. And I know all of that is really frustrating and it's hard for us, but we have to work on a way to try and manage that as best as we can at this process. That's not to say that we've given up on ideas, because we haven't, and we're happy to take more. Many minds can maybe find the correct solution to this, and we are still working to try and find a way. At the moment, we still think it will be October, and we know that's a really hard message, but genuinely, it's because we need to make sure the investigation and the collection of our loved ones is done first, and is done in a way that doesn't mess up anything. And that's our primary aim in all of this. And we will, as I said, come back to us, give us your ideas, and I promise we'll investigate every single one. And we've been working every day to look at a way to make this better for people. So I'm sorry that we can't do it faster. Maybe we can in time, but we are working on it. I think that's probably enough of hearing me, because I'm not your experts today. I think what we will do is we'll invite Councillor Campbell to come, because she also was here and she heard what you said, and I know that the Councillor would like to respond to that, I think. So that's what we'll do next, if that's okay with you, Councillor? Yes, sorry. We have a microphone.
Excuse me, can I ask you?
Yes.
Are you experiencing scaffolding? Are you experiencing cranes? There's a 300-ton crane sitting there.
Yeah.
Right? The crane goes in because of the vibration. The scaffolding can't go up because of there's a basement underneath. That's not secure. Why don't you tell these people that's why you can't put the scaffolding up, that's why you can't cover the building up, that's why the 300-tonner is not being set up. I'm in construction, I'm in Westwood, I'm a crane supervisor. Why have you not got a scaffolding firm here answering these questions, a crane supervisor there? To me, you're gibbering on. You're just covering up.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Why have you not got a scaffolding construction firm behind that desk just to explain to all these people why it's not covered up? It won't be covered up.
Can we say, no one's disagreeing with you. You're absolutely right. We appreciate that. We appreciate that, and we hear that. And if we need to bring somebody to answer those questions, we will do. We're not professing to be those experts. Sorry, we've brought the panel that we heard people suggest they wanted last week. And this is a continuing conversation. Please do not see this as we know this cannot be the absolute. So please bear with us. We've heard what you've said. We can't do any more on that this evening. We will bring people. Is that all right? We will bring expert panels that may be able to answer that question. but we can't bring everyone simultaneously. This is the second of our public meetings. We will listen, and if we need people to explain that, who are experts, we'll bring them. Thank you. Thank you.
I can't concentrate because the translating is not here. We can't concentrate.
Well, I'm sorry, this is a tower resident and I am
know, but-
translating for her, so I'm terribly sorry. Perhaps if it's disturbing you, you might like to move somewhere else. But she's a tower resident and she needs to understand what's going on. Is that all right? Thank you.
I've got a question. It's very important. It's to do with your paper number 15, yeah? It's about an alarm system that you're talking about on page 2. Nobody says what that alarm sounds like, or if it sounds at all. Well, I think that's very important for people. Yeah?
At the moment, there was an audible alarm,
Yeah.
but it's not audible anymore. It's a silent alarm for the workers of the building because that's
What about us?
we can look at that, but we didn't want to. The reason why, and I'm not saying that we aren't, if you want an audible alarm, we can do that, but the question is how many times do you want to evacuate from a building when, for an alarm, when it's a 5mm shift, which is a safety precaution.
5mm, not, I'm talking about when it's really dangerous.
No, I don't know exactly about that. I'll find that out for you.
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
I think it's appropriate now if we could allow Councillor Elizabeth Campbell to speak, who's now charged with delivering the recovery of this space. Elizabeth, could we ask you to join us?
Good evening. Good evening. Hi. Hello? Can you hear? Yeah. Okay. Good evening. Hi. My name is Elizabeth Campbell. I will be the new leader of the council. Like last week, I think the way I should begin is to say how sorry I am that the council...
Let me just do this.
I can stand on top. Is that better? Is that better? Okay. Let me start again. I think the first thing I have to say is what I've said before, and I'll say it as many times as you need me to say that. I am so sorry that the council's response in the immediate aftermath of the fire was completely inadequate. There are no buts, there are no ifs, there's no conditionality. I, unreservedly apologise for that. Secondly, while I'm here, I've been to the Clement James Centre. I've heard from a lot of volunteers about the great work they're doing, and many of you in the audience will be amongst them. And can I just say thank you very much on behalf of the council. The council is Royal Borough of Kensington, Chelsea. Thank you. Okay. Last week, I was just sitting in the back of the session like this at the Muslim Cultural Heritage Centre, and the only two questions which were directed to me, just to me, it was saying, why as a council had we not bothered with the residents in the pink box? Why have we not cleaned the estate? That we'd come in, we'd done it with a mop, and it was symptomatic of the neglect that residents had suffered over the last few years. And they wanted to know why people hadn't repaired doors, why the cleaning hadn't been done properly, and when it was going to be done. Small steps. I came here on Monday with one of our council officers and 3 people from the TMO. They're putting up scaffolding. They're opening the top windows so they can clean the glass first, and then they're working down. And then I was specifically asked whether we could have buffering machines, because apparently buffering machines take more of the dirt out. And we'll certainly be doing that as soon as we've managed to clean the windows and further down. And that was the main thing I was asked. I was also asked about communications to the finger blocks. I've been talking to residents, and we're trying to figure out still what's the exact best way of doing it. I know you get communications from Gold, but it's quite a long sheet. Whether you want things through a WhatsApp group, apparently there's a very active WhatsApp group here with residents, and I was told that if we WhatsApp various people, then they'll manage to get messages out to you, and the messages should be fairly short, so you're not having to read everything through, but just small relevant things like, you know, the team at MO are coming. The reason the scaffolding up is because they're cleaning the windows. So that's what I was asked. That's what I've done this week, and obviously there'll be more things in the future. Thank you.
Can this lady ask the councillor a question, please? Thank you.
I'll just introduce, this is Mrs. Mahbube Jamal Batan, who lived in Grenfell Tower with her 2 children. I'd like to know exactly why this meeting is really taking place.
جمع شدیم که بگیم چجوری ساختمان نگه داریم، جمع شدیم که بگیم چجوری تمیز کنیم دور و بر بدون که اصلا هیچ اهمیتی به اونایی که اونجا زندگی می‌کردن و خیلی‌ها که مردن هیچ اهمیتی براتون نداره اصلا.
So we're here to talk about scaffolding and housekeeping and how we're going to clean windows, but what about the people that lived in that building and the people that have died? Don't they matter for anything?
مادری بوده با 3 تا بچه مرده، مادری بوده که 3 تا بچه‌هاشو پدر و مادرشو از دست داده.
Over 200 people, we believe, have died in that building. Mothers with 3 children that I know, mothers and fathers that have lost their children.
اصلا قابل توصیف نیست بخوام بگم. بگی قابل توصیف نیست. یعنی نمیتونم تعریفش بکنم به خاطر که اونجا نیستم. ما که بودیم میفهمیم که چه اتفاقی افتاد.
It's so hard to even explain and describe. Only we that were there and saw what happened really feel the pain of this. We can't even describe it.
اونایی که رفتن نمیشه کاری براشون کرد، ولی اونایی که باقی موندن چرا براشون کاری انجام ندادیم؟
Those who we've lost, we can't bring them back. But what about those of us that remain? You're not doing anything for us.
من خودم جز یکی از ساکنین اونجا هستم. تا الان هیچ ساپورتی، هیچ کاری برای من نکردن.
I'm one of the residents, and up until today, nobody has done anything for us.
روزی 100 بار سوختم و زنده شدم.
Every day, 100 times a day, we burn and come back again.
و 4 هفته این ادامه داره.
This is 4 weeks now. It's gone on too long.
کنسل کجاست؟ دولت کجاست جواب ما رو بده؟
Why are the council not answering us? Where is the government? Why are they not answering us?
چرا ما رو حمایت نمی‌کنن؟
Why are you not protecting us?
فقط اومدن که بگم ما اینجا وجود داریم. ما میدونیم که کنسل وجود داره، میدونیم دولت وجود داره، میدونیم مردم وجود دارن، ولی ما وجود نداریم. انگار که ما رو نمیبینن.
We know you exist. We know councils exist. We know all these people that are important people that are here, the arms of the state. They exist. But it's like we don't exist. We don't count for anything.
ما میخوایم شما ما رو ببینید و ما رو درک کنید و ما رو حمایت کنید. ما چیز دیگه غیر از این نمیخوایم از شما.
We just want you to understand us, to protect us, to do something for us. That's all we want from you.
خیلی متشکرم.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's very difficult to know what to say in response to that, and in the face of such grieving. Sorry, I was saying it's very difficult to immediately respond to that in the face of such despair and in such grieving. And of course, I'm very happy to meet this lady outside or tomorrow and discuss with her. Yes, absolutely. But in her particular case.
What are you planning to do for them?
Yeah.
There's more than one. There's loads of us everywhere.
Absolutely. I'm more than happy to do so. I have been here almost every day last week. I've met some survivors. I'm very... Yeah.
Survivors of Grenfell Towers. This isn't about survivors of Grenfell Towers. This is about people who live on the estate. We're separate to them. You haven't made your effort to come and see us.
I may not have met you, but I have been here at Ritter Hay, bar 1, since far on these blocks, talking to people. I said that I was happy to come to hotels to meet survivors, but I felt, that I had to be invited rather than turn up.
Can I suggest something?
Yes.
That you actually meet all the people. That you meet all the people from the tower block someday this week.
Yes,
that
very
would be
happy
good.
to.
Well,
them.
yes, I've been on the ground since day 5, and I can say from the various people that I have been, survivors that I've been looking for and after, I'm amazed that some of them still don't have key workers. You know which hotels they're in. Nobody's coming down to see them. No one's tracking anybody. It's all falling through the cracks. And people like me, we are tired. We want to hand over to someone else. And we can't walk away. We can't hand them over to anyone.
Please, can we allow the councillor to speak and explain?
Yeah. Thompson,
I... What? People that ain't in hotels. 3 weeks, Theresa makes sense. She will rehouse within 3 weeks. That's what our promise was to our community. And then help will be given. We still not got people that have got £500 cash.
If you continue to interrupt,
let me speak.
Please, can we have some order so that everyone can be heard? Please, just...
Yeah, I will meet any survivors who want to meet me. Absolutely, I give that commitment. Secondly, if there are people who don't like their key workers or they're not doing their jobs, they let us know. They can change their key workers.
They haven't even had a key worker.
If they haven't had a key worker, then we need to find one immediately, okay? So please, if you could let me know, that absolutely no problem at all. We will do that, okay? No problem, yeah? After this.
Okay. Natasha, right, we're taking a question from this gentleman here, please.
Okay, so the question I would like to ask is why, after 4 weeks, we were promised 3 weeks everyone would be housed. Theresa May went on national telly, said everyone would get £500 cash and a £5,000 into their account. That's still not happened. People aren't being housed 4 weeks later. Yeah? The only support we're getting in this community is from this community. And that's the truth. We were promised support. Where is the support? That's what I want to know. Where is it?
Okay, can I just ask Barry whether he can answer that, because it's my understanding that actually payments have gone out.
So I can't hear you, so I just wanted to hear the answer.
Yeah, he's going to... Oh, hold on.
I don't know the answer to your
See, that's the question we're getting. We don't know the answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're just trying to fix the sound, please. We're just trying to fix the sound. Sorry. What I propose... Okay. Barry. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Barry Quirk, the interim chief exec, who's going to answer the question. Please. Right. Barry.
Right. As a public servant
you should have the ability to project your voice, speak clearly. Now, if you cannot do that, then what you need to do is, in addition to answering these people, you need to learn to project your voice. There's no way you can come and talk to a crowd of people and not have the voice to be able to address everything. I've just done that without a microphone. And I've only opened my mouth for the first time when this fire started. So Barry Quirk, with or without a microphone, make sure the back of this room can hear you. Yes.
Okay, I will try to emulate you, sir. You've given a great example. I am the Chief Executive for the London Borough of Lewisham, and 2 weeks ago I came here to try to help improve the management of all the management arrangements and to make sure that we can get a good response. Now, where the response is not good operationally, whether this is a minor thing or a major thing, what I need is information and details so that I can chase and make sure that the managers concerned and the professionals concerned, whether they're key workers, whether they're cleaning staff locally, whether they're people who are working in housing, that they can respond to you in a timely way, because you absolutely need that. I recognise that. That's what I'm trying to do. Well, I do realise that I've got to deliver. I've got to make sure that the organisation and other organisations work together to deliver for you. But I know that talk is cheap, but you've asked me to come here to explain things. All I can do is say what we're trying.
Right. Sir, the mic's coming to you, please.
I think thank you for the London Resilience team to be here. It doesn't really, the resilience team is North Kensington residents. I think it's been a month, we don't sleep, we don't eat, but we come out of our houses, we run around like headless chicken, trying to get personal information, helping each other. I think you are making the same mistake all over again. You've come to intervene and you're doing zero prevention. You're just resuming services that vanished the day the fire started. We want change. We don't want just update for you to look at WhatsApp. We want you to engage with us before you make those decisions. So what I want from the leader of the council is your commitment that you're going to build our capacity so you can have a resident-led management committee sitting at all levels, sitting with you, making decisions as to what public meeting and wait for your update and tell us everything is fabulous, we can have WhatsApp and this and that. What we want is a voice. You have both other people, yes, but the same operation team is around. Operation team that has failed us. So I want to know what you're going to do about it, and I want to know the 32 private buildings that you're building next to the tower, are you going to turn them into social housing? It's not a difficult question. It's not a matter of waiting for 6 months. You are building 32 private rented accommodation. Will you give them to survivors?
First of all, I would say, I've been asked to come here. I don't really feel that I'm empowered to have a dialogue with you, because your experience is actually so authentic and so real that what you need is not a voice, you need power. Yes. And the way you get power is by engaging and making sure that what we do, we only do if it's in agreement with community groups. We can only do that with community groups. It's not that we have the answers. What we want is for community engagement and empowerment, so that when we are moving forward, we're moving forward only in the ways that the community wants. Now, on the second point,
it's one of the priorities of the TMO and the council. Year after year, they tick the boxes saying residents are happy. It doesn't work.
We can't do it.
The way you engage with us doesn't work. Tell us what we do.
Just to add to that point, you absolutely can. hide this clothing and make sure that the residents saw that they were visible, and that they were present, and they were there to reassure the public. And that hasn't happened in 4 weeks. So you absolutely can do something about it. If you're not visible, if you're not making yourselves available, then you're not doing enough. It's not just enough to put information out, you've also got to be present, and you've also got to be approachable. So that is one of the first things you need to change immediately.
Ladies, we've got to add some order to this, please. This lady is next, but Barry, could you respond to that? And then this lady is next, please, folks. We will come to you.
It's an entirely correct point, and I agree with it. And in relation to the social housing, the leader has said to me, how can we look at all of the... Mike? Okay. Well, I'm not sure this works. The leader has said to me, and I'm looking at every single regeneration or site and saying, how can we get social housing? How can we increase the supply of social housing quickly? We know that. That is an obvious option. We're looking at that as well. All of these options are on the table now. We're looking at it for this week. We are looking at these things, and we will look at them absolutely for the purpose of increasing the numbers of social housing.
Okay. Natasha, the person that's with you, please. Oh, sorry, this lady first. And then we're going into that corner there.
Thank you for everybody here. I went to bed 2:30 this morning. I woke up 7:30. I had a meeting with the Mayor of London. Just to give you an example how our life has changed. And what we're hearing, I received whatever, WhatsApp or email, saying that the authorities recruited 400 case workers and is still receiving a call from other survivors for us to help them.
Yes.
And nobody even understands how this community works. We are there to work. Since the fire, 4 weeks, we're working without payment, and we didn't ask for it. What we ask, just resources. What we ask, just free our hand. Don't bring big organizations to take all the money. We donated that money. We need just free hand to do our job for our neighbors, for our love that we lost them.
What I will say is very quirky, write it down now. I wrote to him on Saturday, he responded to me on Monday. So he is listening, but he's from the outside, because Kensington and Chelsea Borough Council have to bring him and a team from outside. Shame on Kensington and Chelsea Council for having to need to bring in people from the outside. But if you get his email, he probably will respond to you. We're responding to me. But shame on the council. Shame on them.
Thank you, but we...
As leader of Kensington and Chelsea Council, we will ask for help, and we're not proud to do that. And if we can get the best people in to help here, we will. And Barry is one of the best chief execs in London, and we're delighted to have him with us. But absolutely, we'll ask central government, we'll ask private landlords.
But just on that statement alone, is you didn't go out and ask for help from the outside. Your response was so lacking that you guys were forced to move out of the situation. So please don't to be honest, and just the other major point I have just to mention here is everyone in this room now has probably attended 50 meetings in the last 4 weeks, 50 plus meetings. At the start of every single meeting, I hear the same thing. We're here to listen to you. We're 4 weeks in. We are not trained, we don't get paid to do what we're doing. You guys do. You guys need to tell us the plan and stop listening. If this happened in your private complex or in a block of flats that you lived in, what would your neighbours need? You guys are human beings, you're not aliens. You understand. You have to understand, because if this was your friends and family, you'd understand. Open up your thought process. Stop asking what we need. It's common sense what we need. You take a half an hour walk through the streets here, and it's apparent. You know what people need. You've heard it 50 times. How many more times must we tell you what everybody needs? You guys, it's your job. You're paid to do it. Do your job and do it properly.
involved with the public inquiry, with the committee, with the council, I don't see anyone but councillors that don't have the answers to the questions that we've asked. 4 weeks, the same questions have been answered, the same response. We're not from Kensington and Chelsea, we do not have the answers. Well, then set up a meeting with Kensington and Chelsea Council. They won't face us because they know what they did was murder.
Sir, I can hear you. There are lots of other people that are being respectful by raising their hands. Please allow them to have a voice. Could this gentleman here, please do. Please, people are before some of you, please wait. Lee, could we...
I'll take that. I'm very happy to meet and understand exactly. Absolutely. So my name's Rachel Wright-Turner. I'm a director in the council at the moment, and I've been working with many people in here to try to understand what it is that we need to do both practically and strategically. And I'm very aware that we need to be doing more consultation, more engagement, and working to get the right structures and the right mechanisms for you to help shape what we do next. And I'm very happy. And it's not quick enough. I know that. It's not quick enough.
I'm a professional. I can look at this in half a day. We ask you to go back to the proposal, come back to us, build our capacity, and not the resident level.
And I'm very happy to work with you to understand exactly what it is that you would like to see set up and to make sure that that works for all the different people that are here.
Right, ladies, gentlemen, we can't hear you all simultaneously.
One at a time, please.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if you continue to shout, some of the legitimate voices are not going to be heard. Please allow us to take a question at a time. We've got this I think could we go to this gentleman? Leave.
Tomorrow is at the Lancaster West Residents Association meeting at that event centre.
Yeah.
So go home, think about it, come there tomorrow with some plans so we can work together, okay? So tomorrow, that's the centre.
4 weeks in, and we haven't done nothing in it. These people, they haven't even come with a plan for our babies who have had to deal with that stupid building there. My kids are 7 and 3, and everybody there's got kids, and we're having to deal with trauma and get no assistance from none of you over there, or no Red Cross, no nothing. And what about our babies? Our babies are dealing with this, and there's nothing there to help them. How do they? What you do? You're not doing jack shit. Nothing.
It's fine. It's absolutely fine. So in terms of specifics, yes, absolutely, we can set up whatever committees would be helpful. Yes, absolutely, we will work with you to make sure that you are influencing, shaping and telling us what needs to happen. And yes, absolutely, I'm prepared to meet with anybody tomorrow who wants to tell me exactly what it is that you need. And sir, I'm very happy to also talk to you about what it is that you need for your children and to also...
All our kids are traumatised and they're still having to walk past this building, asking questions we can't answer because you lot ain't giving us nothing, but we're having to deal with we're having to do your job and then and go to work and whatever and deal with our unruly kids who are acting out because of they're seeing that. And you lot are nowhere to be seen. You've got this one in his sleep.
And I'm not going to tell you I've got all the answers, but I will be able to describe later exactly what we have put in place to help with some of that. And I'm very keen to understand what more is needed.
Right. Hello, ladies, gentlemen. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, please, let's have some. Could we take this gentleman's question, please? would you like to ask your question?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for allowing me to take up a bit of your space to address you. I want to say my warmest condolences and most heartfelt, sincere condolences, I beg your pardon, to all of you who have lost loved ones. Those of you, what you've gone through, I watched the burning tower on television and I was immediate tears. I can understand your emotions that's spilling out here this evening. I came here because the judge who has been elected to chair your public inquiry, I know that the one thing you want, apart from those things that you're mentioning tonight, is you want the truth. Because on the truth, you will get justice. It's a question of whether or not they are prepared to deliver the truth, because the whole damn system is corrupt, and they will do whatever they possibly can to cover up the truth. What I'm holding here in my hand is a document with Morbid listed on it, and it's a judgment which he delivered after an appeal which I filed, and he dealt with that appeal, which involved the death of one of my children. And Martin Morbid, as Lord Justice Morbid, did whatever he had to do to join with his colleagues to cover up the circumstances of the death of my 15-month-old son. Now, just to give you an idea of the level of corruption that they're prepared to engage in, there's another judge on here, Lord Justice Elias. He was on the panel which made the decision which I was appealing against. And there is nowhere in law where a judge can sit on an appeal panel where the decision being appealed he was involved in. And this is documented fact. So I'm not come here to waste your time. I'm just come here to prove to you that Morbid is unsuitable to chair a public inquiry where the truth is being pursued. In order for them to try and silence me in my pursuit for justice and to uncover the circumstances of my son's death, I spent damn well 6 years locked up in prison, being denied access to court. You know what I think? If any good can come from any tragedy, especially one as horrific as what you've all gone through, it is that it will deliver justice not just here in Kensington, but around the country. Because people like yourselves, we are all yearning to have a voice. And the media turns its back on us. It's only when you go through this level of suffering, pain and suffering and loss, that the media shows any attention, and they try to put on a face as if they're really concerning and caring, etc., etc. I have, in this document, I have a letter from Diane Abbott MPs telling me you must face the fact that nothing will bring your son back. Drop your action, pursuit of justice, and get on with the rest of your life. That's signed by Diane Abbott. There is a document in here from Buckingham Palace written on behalf of the Queen, where the Queen, she said she could not intervene directly. However, they assured me that they've been instructed to send my details to the then head of the judiciary, Lord Irvine. They confirmed he was already aware of my case, but now he would know of my approach to Her Majesty on this. This is really important, because this is not about me. I'm not trying to make this about me. I'm trying to bring to your attention the level that these people will go to, and it includes the police. It includes the police. No one escapes the level of corruption that the system will engage in to protect itself. So I am making this document available for you, so that you can have that judge removed. He's absolutely unsuitable. And Theresa May is aware that he's unsuitable. She's named in this document also. Before she became Prime Minister, this bundle of documents was presented to her.
No, it's not about. Sorry. Could we listen, gentlemen? Sorry. Thank you for your observation. The people have obviously heard what you have said. I don't think that's a question for the panel. No, I know that's what I'm saying. It's not. It's not just for the panel. نکرد.
Exactly what truth are you after? Exactly what truth are you after here?
حقیقت اینه که 300 نفر مردن آتیش گرفتن.
The truth is that over 300 people died in that building. They died in a burning fire.
حقیقت اینه که تا الان هیچ کار نکردن.
The truth is that no one's done anything about it.
فقط فرار کردن، خودشون پنهان کردن.
They've just run away and are hiding from us.
شما انتظار دارید در آینده جواب شما رو خواهند داد؟
Do you really think they're going to answer all your questions?
هرگز جواب شما رو نخواهند داد.
They will never give the answers to your questions.
اینا دنبال وقتن، میخوان وقت بخرن.
They're just wasting time, spending time till we get tired.
که بتونن خودشون رو رها بدن، بتونن فرار کنن، بتونن قانع کنن مردم رو که اینا مقصر نبودن.
So that they can get away with this and say that they were not responsible.
شما دارن با شماها بازی میکنن.
They're just playing with you.
مطمئن باشید با شما بازی میکنن.
Please, be sure, let me reassure you, they're just playing with you.
خودشون هم میدونن حقیقت کجاست.
They know exactly what the truth is.
ولی نمیخوان جواب بدن.
But they don't want to give you any answers.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pause. Please, let's pause for a moment. The reason why the panel and these meetings have been called is absolutely to hear you. It is to absolutely hear you. And let me just finish, because tonight, unprecedentedly, let me finish. We have bought, and we have not advertised the fact, we have bought the senior investigating officer for the case to this panel, to be in front of you, to talk. Well, you need to listen to what he has to say. So, please, are there people here who would like to hear what the senior investigating officer has to say? Please, thank you. Can you show your hand? So please, can we say to other people want to hear what the panel has to say? Is that right? Thank you. Right. The senior investigating officer, Matt Bonner, is here. This is unprecedented what you have been through, and so we are prepared to come and for you to be heard. Okay, please, could we have a moment?
Hang on, just...
Everyone's got a question. Can we just listen to the officer and then please ask questions? Please, please. Let the officer speak. Let the officer speak. Can he answer the question?
Absolutely, I'll answer why no criminal charges have been brought.
Madam, can you give me the microphone?
Yeah, sorry. Sorry. Excuse me.
Ladies and gents, my name's Matt Bonner. I'm a Detective Chief Inspector from the Metropolitan Police Homicide and Major Crime Command. I'm charged with the task of investigating what happened, why it happened, and bring to justice those that are responsible, whoever those that are responsible may be. This is an unprecedented investigation. Outside of counter-terrorism, this is one of the largest that we have ever faced. It is one of the largest and most complex investigations that we face. The test of the test. Okay, I'm here to give you answers around the police investigation. Okay, it was...
Listen, look at the silent protest.
There was no angriness. You had a bit of anger in you. You got that in
You
the
know,
system.
I saw people burn to death. I had the streets of the children of my
Listen, everyone needs to just keep calm.
Okay, listen. Okay, the test of my investigation will be whether it's done properly, not whether it's done quickly. Unfortunately, an investigation of this scale will not be quick, but it will be thorough. It will get to the bottom of whatever happens and hold those to account for anyone who needs holding account, whether that be an individual or whether that be an organisation. All I can do is stand here and give you words tonight because I've not met any of you before. Tomorrow I will commence the dreadful task of meeting individually each and every bereaved family. It will take me a long time, but I will listen to each and everybody. When I need to make an arrest, I will.
Officer, have you actually interviewed any of the company directors? Have you interviewed the top of the council?
What?
Have you interviewed the top of the TMO? Have you done that?
What I cannot do is give you a commentary of what the investigation is doing in a stage-by-stage process. Because at the beginning we explained that I have to be careful. If I give you quick information now and risk jeopardising the investigation in the fullness of time, no one will forgive me for giving you quick answers today and then losing any prosecutions that may follow later on down the line. It would be much easier for me to give a running commentary of my investigation. Much easier because I wouldn't face this anger. But the reality is I have to do this properly and I must have the space and you have to... You ask will be answered. Absolutely that. Listen, I cannot justify step by step to each of you and explain it, much as you would want me to, and much as it would be easier for me to do. You have to... If I asked each and every one of you where I should start, you'd all come up with a different answer. The task...
Excuse me. Listen.
She's saying that when the police turned up to interview us immediately after the event, we were all in shock. We don't accept the witness statements that we gave at the time. We believe that, we were in shock. We didn't know what we were saying. We had no idea what we were saying. They need to come now and talk to each of us again, over again, so we can tell them exactly what we saw. We were not in a state to give them full interviews. So how come when it was to the advantage of the state, the police arrived immediately? But the council haven't turned up. Why haven't they protected us? Council can protect us, look after us, but it does not.
Can I put some scale on the task for you in terms of numbers? If we need to come back and interview you again, we will do that. Absolutely no doubt. So, in terms of numbers, we will be interviewing each and every firefighter that entered the building. That is, at the moment, we think 650. Each and every police officer is another 300. Each and every survivor that came from the tower, that's another approximately 255. We will be interviewing each and every resident that has information that can provide. We will do all of that. We will do all of that, but we won't do it all tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you all shout, nobody gets heard. Nobody is heard.
Is it possible this was premeditated? We want an answer that's bloody solid one as soon as possible, so arrest.
So do I.
Sorry, can I just ask a couple of questions? Can you just introduce yourself again?
Yeah, my name's Matt White.
How many police officers have you got on this investigation at this point in time?
It changes on a daily basis, but around about 250 people on any given day.
Okay, and have you seized records, documentation and correspondence trails relating to Grenfell Tower and the project management?
Yes, we've commenced the task of recovering data.
I'll do it. Barricaded blocks is just happening there.
So yes, we have started to commence. So far we've identified 60 companies and organisations that have been involved in the construction, the refurbishment and the ongoing management of that building.
Okay, and lastly, if it was one of us who was suspected to have committed a crime, we'd be arrested by now. So can you make arrests based on those investigations or caution them?
When I need to arrest someone, I will. When I need to caution someone, I will. But I will do this because I will do it properly and not quickly.
600 people dead. 600. Do I know them? No. I live there. 600 are dead. 600 are dead. Not. I know. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are going to just shout, we're not going to get heard. We're not going to get heard.
Excuse me, sir. The three councillors who just resigned, why are they not in custody now? Simple answer. Why are they
That's
not
great.
in custody?
That's great.
Why are they not in custody? Why did they resign?
We are going over to this side of
Look, I can answer that. Because I need to approach the investigation in a methodical and proper approach.
Rubbish!
Question is, where is the in charge people? For the last 4 weeks, we've been asked, we haven't seen, and they keep making mistake again. Why are we getting less people are coming to represent our councils? Does that mean the community have to lead? Can we have answer, please?
It's a mass murder.
Can we have? This is what we lost, our families, our children, friends, and the whole families, the whole community. We're not happy. Our names call every resident.
The scale of this investigation is why it will take so long. It is why many of you will be unsatisfied at times that it's not going as quickly as you would like. What you must do is allow me the space to conduct an effective investigation and then judge me at the end.
the hospitals in London does not have an audit of the people that were taken from the flood. Which hospitals has which patients? These are questions that the bereaved that have tears in their eyes are asking. And these are the reasons why we woke up this morning. Some of us cannot sleep because when we sleep, we dream of this life all over again. Don't you have humanity? No. Don't you know there are people that are crying, that can't stop crying? Why can't we hear the truth? Why do we have the war of officialdom? Now we think we are less human because we are tenants. Don't you understand that?
No, they don't. Listen, I absolutely understand that.
No, you don't.
Which is why.
Answer the question.
No, listen. Just let me answer. Each and every member of bereaved families have had specially assigned, specially trained officers working with them. I'm working with them, as I said, from tomorrow I will meet each and every family. Listen, tragically.
Listen. Please listen. The reason why we are here today is that the authorities never listen. The Prime Minister didn't listen. The mayor never listens. Because you are a tenant, you are classified as subhuman. If they listened, they would have taken safety positions. Please, I beg you,
listen.
just listen.
I will.
That's why I plead with you. Listen. Because if you listen to what the people are saying, you will know their fears. If you listen to what the people are saying, they are not talking from their heads. They are not talking from documents. They are talking from their hearts.
So my investigation is independent of local authorities. It's independent of the government. It's independent of the public inquiry.
Prove it.
I have said that this will take time, and that the pace is too slow. The pace is too slow. Listen, if you need 1,000 officers working round the clock, doing shifts, get 1,000 officers. Money has been saved, life lost. We mustn't save money again. It's a national disaster. It's a national disgrace. It's a national tragedy. Where is the national response? It's not an earthquake. It's not an accident. There is a national response. So my investigation is supported by officers from around the country. It will continue to be as long as is necessary.
Just listen. Just listen. The people feel they don't have any confidence in you because you didn't listen to them 1 year ago. Just listen. I plead with you, listen. Before you communicate, listen. Then you will know the questions that you are going to prepare answers for. If you don't listen, we will still feel that we are somehow inferior to you.
Okay, look, I need to wrap up, but my commitment to all of you, is that I will deliver an investigation that stands up to scrutiny and delivers answers. At the moment, I don't know what those answers will be because I haven't completed the investigation. Okay? Judge me when it's done, but if I told you the ins and outs of the case, I would put the investigation at risk, which is quite simply why I cannot.
Ladies and gentlemen,
excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, please, let's not get it all wrong, okay? My name is Sonia, and I live in Bramley Road. I wasn't there on Tuesday. I came on Wednesday with a tower on fire. From my spiritual belief, all I could feel is that soul suffering up there. All I could do is to pray for their salvation, spiritual salvation. What are we doing? Just screaming and just delivering anger. How can they rest in peace if we cannot use this horrible event, if we cannot turn this horrible event into something a bit
more elevated. Now, my question for this gentleman. Excuse me, there's no point for them to come if it's just for you to say, lie, 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 shut up. Then you wanted to see them, to listen to them, right? Now my question for him, now my question for him at last, before I go, please. So my question for
I can
him,
calm the crowd.
because he wants to do a thorough investigation, and it's what we all want. Not how so allowing the whole community to go to closure, I would like this gentleman to tell me when.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Street. For those who don't know me, I live and work in the borough for 35 years. Most of you know me as a chair of Safer Neighborhood Board for the last 3 years, as a chair of Chester Residents Association for 12 years, and I'm still member of the committee.
Someone like this for a long time to answer our questions. So let him answer the questions.
He will. If everyone, if everyone calms down, we need them to answer our questions. Yeah, pick one at a time. They will ask. Samina asked for community engagement. Please consider the community engagement.
I just want a thorough report. Please,
let's work together with them. I lost half of my friend in this building. I'm a resident like you. I don't work for the council. I don't work for the TMO. I'm one of you. Please, one at a time.
I'm going to give him the microphone now. But let me just make this point. They are trying to take us as savages, yeah? So it's in our best interest to take on. You speak.
We have to be more disciplined than them if you want to win and get what you want. So let's work together and be calm. I know we're all wrong. We're wrong and we're angry. But we have to give it a chance.
Everybody wants to hear him answer, so let him speak.
Listen, the material I've looked at already, the phone calls that I've listened to already, I cannot do that without sensing some of your grief already. I wasn't here on that night, but I was here first thing in the morning, and I've worked pretty much every single day since, and will continue to do so to get the answers that you all want. But the point of me coming is to explain that it will take time. Things aren't quick, but I won't rush it. I will do it properly. I will do it as quickly as possible, and I will do it to get every single answer so the investigation stands scrutiny. But it may not be as quick as you would like, and it may not be as quick as I would like. Sorry, I've just been asked in terms of what offences am I looking at. The investigation will investigate all criminal offences. That starts at corporate manslaughter, includes gross negligent manslaughter on an individual basis, and continues and will include any health and safety, any fire safety regulations, and will address each and every piece of legislation that is relevant. I will look at each and every aspect. Yes, you have my word at the moment, which is all you've got, unfortunately. You'll have my word always that I will commit to conducting an effective investigation that gets to the bottom of what happened and why, and holds those to account. Yes, sir.
One question for you. I work in health and safety as an health and safety vet. That building had to be signed off by somebody. Someone had to put their name to that piece of paper to say that that building was safe to be occupied. So, to keep all these people quiet, why has that man, that person, whoever, been brought into the police station and questioned and arrested? Because he has put his name to it to say that it is safe. And as for you, I don't mean to show you no respect, you have sat there with a face like a slap task the whole time and you're not interested.
I cannot and won't comment on the status of any individual or any corporation. It would jeopardise any criminal investigation that I conduct. I've been asked here about future updates. I cannot give a running commentary, but there will be regular updates as to progress. What regular means will depend on the progress we're making, but significant updates will be released both within community meetings and via the wider media. So the only timescale that I can give you with any degree of certainty at the moment is that our forensic investigation within the tower runs in parallel with the recovery investigation, and that alone is scheduled to run to the end of the year. As I said right at the beginning, this won't be quick, but it will be thorough.
The next question is from this lady in the white top. This lady in the white top, please.
I'd like to ask you two questions. Thank you. Okay. Two questions are one in terms of arrest, in comparison to the Manchester bombing. As soon as Manchester I have two questions to ask. We can't hear. Two questions. The first one is about the arrest. You said you make a comparison with the terrorism cases and that this is different and complex. You don't want to jeopardise your investigation, we understand that. But what people don't understand is why there have been no arrests. Now, when the Manchester terror attack happened, days later there were 16 arrests. There were in national newspapers. Some of those who were arrested had been identified in national newspapers, on the internet. Those who had been arrested, cautioned, even those who were released on bail were identified. Why is this different? Why have there been no arrests? Second question, in terms of recovery of documents, you're saying 60 companies have been identified. You're in the process of recovering documents. The question is, have you gone in there and seized the documents? And if not, why not? Because I understand that you have asked the companies to voluntarily surrender documents. That would not happen in a criminal investigation. If anybody here was caught with drugs, you would be in their homes, you would raid in their homes, and you would arrest them, you would seize their documents. Why is there a difference? That's what
Okay, look, I can't and I won't comment on the method.
This gentleman, you.
They knew categorically that it would burn so rapidly. You can identify that person like that. And that person needs to be arrested. These people need reassurance. You coming and sitting there and you stood there telling people...
Okay, my investigation is not restricted to the type of cladding and the way in which it was fit. It will cover each and every aspect. It will cover the type of cladding. It will cover each and every aspect of the building.
I know.
Sir? Sir? Sir, we're I'm going to come to the people that have indicated they want to speak. Time, not because we're rushing, but there is a vigil. Please. Please.
Do you want to take this microphone?
Yes, it's working. Please, could you? We have a limited time left if we are to respect the vigil. Please. Please.
Yes,
We're coming to you
good
next.
evening.
Thank you.
We all neighbours. I'm from the neighbouring street. I was here since 2 o'clock in the morning, the night of the fire. But then I came to the meeting of the week previous, and the same situation. Stuff, emotions start erupting, then violence, then somebody shouted that I'm a spy for the council, which I'm not. I don't work for I don't know anything for the council. I got mobbed by 20 people. They broke my bag, they hit me, and also, and hang on a second, I just come from A&E because I have chest pains as a result. And the police, I said to them, look, excuse me, can you do something about it? Oh no, sorry, we can't do that. Who's this man? Oh, this in the blue shirt. Oh, you said there's something there. The issue is the police must have integrity. There is no, the police must be independent. If I do something wrong, you arrest me. If the councillor does something wrong, you arrest the councillor. Nobody above the law. As long as you show integrity, then people will respect you and believe you. That's the point.
Thank you. Thank you. Right. There wasn't a specific question, it's a point of integrity. This gentleman and then this gentleman, and you're asking the question for this lady here.
The leader of constituency. Last time you came to listen.
We can't hear you, sir.
Last time you came to listen. That's why we didn't give you any question. But today there is many questions. My question to you, where is our loved one? Don't say it takes time, it is very hard. You have the panel, we need our loved one. We need to bury them. We have grave inside our house. And there is many questions today. Last time you just came to listen, and now you have to respond.
Thank you. Did you want to say anything to that, Chancellor?
I hear what you're asking. You're asking when people will be identified. And I'm afraid that I'm not part of the police investigation. And I can't answer that. But I'll talk to you afterwards. The gentleman was asking me about... Okay. I understand that. What I'm saying is this gentleman here was asking me, I believe, about identification of his loved one or people who are missing. As the leader of the council, I can sympathise, but I'm not a police investigator. I can't answer that question.
Yeah, but there is many questions here today. There is many questions here. Answer
many
them.
questions.
Yeah.
Sorry.
For the DSIF, I think there was a point about investigation.
You're very disrespecting. You've got to stand up and talk. It's a matter of respect. Thank you.
I'm very happy to stand up. No, hold on. You've asked me to listen, and now you're asking me questions. I'm happy to answer.
How do you expect
what's your question?
Let us speak. Sir, if you carry on talking, she will not be heard.
Sorry, what was the question? I can't hear your question.
The question was...
What's your question? We met the other day.
We don't have any power over what we're not able to do. What we want to be clear on is what exactly is it that you have done that is within your power, because it's really not clear to us right now. Nothing.
Okay. In the last 4 days, I have been out and about trying to find out what people want, but I accept what you said, and today one of the things I announced, because I can't spin on a sixpence, I have said that what the council will do is increase the amount of socially rented housing in this area. Okay? So that is a firm commitment. So you've asked me what I've done. That's the first thing. And the second thing I've committed to... Okay, I started this meeting by explaining that last week the 2 questions were put to me at the Muslim Cultural Heritage Centre was why no cleaning had been done, why the 3 finger blocks had been neglected, and why we couldn't do something quickly about that.
But you came to listen at that time.
Yes,
You didn't.
and I have done that. And I understand that for a lot of people, that's a fairly trivial matter because they're mourning. But that's what I was asked to do, and that's what I did. Okay? And now...
Please. Sorry, we can't hear you very clearly. I'm going to go to the gentleman that has waited to speak. Please, can you have the voice?
I think there are some people who are trying to not listen to the people who are here to answer. Can I ask a question? Yes, I know you are very, very loud, but I can be louder. Can I ask a question from a Dr. Barbara, who is sitting here patiently? I can be louder than you. I live 50 yards from there. You don't. I live 50 yards from there. You don't. Don't shout. I can shout louder. My question to Dr. Barbara is, I live 50 yards from Grenfell Tower. I was evacuated. I came back next day and I have been meeting everybody, every resident here. Can you tell me, is the air in that area safe enough to live? Because I've got grandchildren, 3-year and 2-year. Can you answer that? Thank you.
Yes, I can answer that. So we've monitored the air quality since the fire happened. The levels of pollutants in the air have been consistently low every day. I haven't done it myself. You said you didn't trust Public Health England because we're part of government. I've commissioned an independent company to come in and put air quality monitors close to Grenfell Tower. That's happened. We've got the results, we've put them into the newsletter. The levels of pollutants in the air are low. The other thing that people were really concerned about was that there was asbestos in the building. We know that. We knew it on day 1. The levels of asbestos were not high, but there was asbestos in the ceiling coverings and in the airing cupboards, which might have been damaged as a result of the fire. It could have released small amounts of asbestos fibre. We think the temperature of the fire, and we know this from having done experiments in other places, but the temperature of the fire was such that any asbestos that came out would have been dispersed. We know that the police teams who have been working inside the building since the fire happened have been wearing monitors to see whether they're being exposed to asbestos and other dusts, and they're not. We've had the results of those, and we've said that the safety teams in the building have said that there are no levels of asbestos that would cause any concern or cause any health problems to anybody there or in the vicinity. Okay.
For 20 years, these people you have to the old people living down there for 20 years, they never will say the asbestos now. Never.
Shall I just
because if you just little bit, that's we live and they long for many years.
Yeah.
And then how can you, these people, monitor the people? Not that you monitor that. I want you, the health authority, to monitor the people as well.
We are breathing in human ashes.
Okay, I can say that the levels of particulates, there's nothing coming out of the building at the moment. There's nothing actually coming out of the building at the moment because okay. I'll finish the asbestos. Shall I just finish I'll just finish the asbestos thing. We've since done some more specific testing in the area around the building, and this will all go up on our website and you'll be able to access it and see the data. But we have monitored for asbestos in the environment, and we have found no asbestos fibres out around the site around Grenfell. We will continue to do this monitoring for as long as the building is being remediated, as long as work is going on there, so that we can put things up on a daily and weekly basis. We can warn you if we think there's going to be a pollution event, like the one we had a couple of years ago when we had Saharan dust. People remember that? So we'll warn you if we think that the levels of air pollution are going to go up.
None of this rubbish you are trying to feed us. Can you please stop wasting our time and give us the answers we need today, now, not next year, not 10 years later.
And so what's... Sorry,
I do not have to listen to none of this.
Okay.
Nobody here does. We have not got time to waste anymore.
I haven't quite heard your question, that's all.
Please, can you allow her to answer the first question? We will then come to you. Please allow her to answer.
Can you tell me what the question was? Because it's quite long.
What is your question, sir?
I couldn't hear your question, so if you just say it again, that's fine.
Come forward, mate. Come forward. Come forward and ask the question.
Questions about the management of the building. So I think. Sorry, what?
Come to the front.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't answer that question. It's not for me to do that. I can stay on and answer specific questions afterwards if you want me to.
All right, I'm going to ask this question on behalf of Barbara, but before I do, you mentioned that nothing's coming out in the building. In my hand, I've got some samples from the building that's still coming off now and falling into people's balconies. So for you to say that nothing's coming out of the building is incorrect, and if you are doing your tests, you need to be testing people's properties as well as the public spaces, right? So that's what you need to do. So the question from Barbara for the rest of the panel is, apart from meetings and saying what you are going to do, what 5 things have you actually done in response to people's requests for help?
Okay? So we have done monitoring of the air for particulate matter that does find us that you could breathe in that could affect your health. We have done that in a number of places, and we've done it with an independent company. We will put the results on the website. You'll be able to see all of the data. We've monitored for asbestos and found no asbestos fibres in the vicinity. I can't monitor for cyanide because that only happens at the time the fire's burning. Okay? So there's absolutely no point in monitoring for cyanide now that it will have gone. We have monitored and we're doing tests for dioxins, which we know can be caused during fire, and we'll give those results to you as soon as they're available. So we're doing all the things we can do. We're doing air quality monitoring because that's what we've been asked. If you've got debris in your property, ask the council to come and clear it for you. Don't do it yourselves. So I didn't see what you had in your hand, but yeah, if debris has fallen off the building and has landed on your property, the council will come and clear it up. You contact the council and say, there is waste, there is debris from that property in my garden, please come and clear it, and they will do it for you.
Police officer, summon, please. Ladies and gentlemen, now let me speak, please. It is almost 22. It's almost, please. Are you going to... It's almost 20 to 8.
This is the bad ventilation. Yeah. This is what kids are picking up. This is what's falling off on a daily basis.
One more question. One more question. And the young lady was waiting.
Yeah, I can. Sorry, I didn't hear that. One more question. What was the question? Sorry, the water is safe to drink. Absolutely, the water is safe to drink. Yeah? Thames Water does testing. Thames Water does testing of all of the supplies on a very regular basis. There has been no issue. There have been no biological or chemical problems with the water in Kensington for a very long time.
Right, I'm going to give this meeting back to the community because we are at a particular time. At the start of the meeting, we said that we were minded to finish for those of you who would like to observe the visual. Do people want to observe the visual? It is a month on. So in that case, yeah. So we have one final question. We have to go to the final question.
Right, a really simple question.
Final question.
This police officer before he disappears.
Hi there. Okay, so
the final question.
I'm just going to try and be really quick. I came here on Saturday, the 17th of June. I don't live in the borough, but I have friends here, and I've been a regular visitor to Notting Hill since 1987. And when I got here on Saturday, I assumed, like many of the members of the public, that I would simply be serving up some food, handing out a few donated items. I never imagined for 1 second that I would walk into such a catastrophic situation where there was no infrastructure in place, no first response, no emergency response. And my question is, you've kindly explained that your long-term solutions are that you're going to build housing, but what are the interim solutions for these people, because I'm a mental health commissioner and I haven't worked for 4 weeks because I've been here doing my job for nothing, and I want to help. I want to carry on helping. So I want to know, what are the interim plans for these people?
Can I ask this question? 1 second.
The final question, Rachel.
I think whatever I say is going. Sorry, are you okay if I ask you a question later?
No, this is not right.
So whatever I say is going to be inadequate in the face of such need. So in terms of what's happening for families, they're receiving support through the key workers. We're looking at housing options. We're trying very, very hard to make sure that they are able to make decisions around what works for them. And so we continue to work very closely with those families. We still need to do so much more for the rest of the community, and I'm very conscious of that, and I think you're right, you're exactly right. The focus has been very much on those immediately impacted or relocated as a result of this catastrophe. We need to be doing more now in terms of making changes or putting additional support into all of our other services, and also recognising where we need new services and different ways of doing that. We have been doing work on the ground, but whatever I say is still going to be insufficient. We've made sure that all of the children have had access to educational psychologists or counselling through schools. We've got additional counselling and specialists working through children's centres. We've got residential programmes and additional play and summer activities that have been scheduled, and we will continue to build that, working with our partners. I've been working very closely with the third sector to make sure that they've got access to funding so that they can continue to do the work that I know is helping on the ground. We've been working with volunteers, and I'm I need to know how to help the volunteers, because I'm conscious there are people that have given up their time without pay, and that is something that I will be looking at next week. So as I say, it will be inadequate and more needs to be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to observe the vigil, then I would suggest now is the time. If you'd like to observe the vigil, there are just a few minutes for those who would wish to leave. The panel are still here if we have any specific questions. The investigating officer will have to leave now. Can we also say on your chairs there were information packs, newsletters, contact numbers to if you want any of the services that are available.
Sorry, there's nothing.